This is why he told the truth. Because he had a lot of black people that was passing. Just like Aleister Crowley, even though he was in a white body, inside he had the melanin that could bring him up on the higher levels, and he could receive that message when he went back to Hemmitt because he was a black man. This particular person was an actual black man that knew his black lineage and was passing. The Brotherhood said that one thing that they regretted is that he didn't tell the people at the end that he was black, and that great scholarship wouldn't contribute to one of us. But it's just like Mr. Lane said, there's a reason for everything. If he would have said that he was a black person, they would have destroyed all the work. So as a result, by him being white, some white scholars still deal with him, but the black scholars have always dealt with Gerald Massey, and John G. Jackson dedicated his book, Man, God, and Civilization, to Gerald Massey, but he didn't even know this was a black man, and this is what is coming from the actual Brotherhood. So these are some things that the Spirit was working with us all along. Now we're going to get into what is called the alien agenda. Now, the alien agenda is, ever since the first part of 1994, the grace period that this particular white man, this extension supposed to have gotten, is over. And we are actually living beyond time. And we've been living beyond time. And the only reason why things is not going yet is because they're trying to get you to bear witness on who you are, because you are the government that's supposed to take this particular beast out. And this particular alien agenda is on the platform because this grace period is over, and now we are in the midst of an actual cosmic genetic war that's going on right now. It's just that we haven't woke up to find out that our higher self, you exist on two planes, and your higher level of the people that you looking, this extraterrestrial government, to come down. And when you tap into your inner self, you're going to find out that you are more than just such and such Jim Jones or Joe Jackson from Chattanooga or wherever you from. You are higher God. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? So now these are some things that's going on. Now, we know that the abduction of white people is because why they're abducting white people and they're not abducting us. The reason why is because you have a cosmic blueprint and you call melanin that not only is an atomic point that links you from some point in time, but some point that even goes off of this planet, and you are at the head of the Sirius Brotherhood, which is the central sun for this particular solar system and this particular universe. By you being the actual black people that surround Sirius and that embody Sirius, you are the gods of the universe. So therefore, by you being the gods of the universe and running this thing, when the aliens come in, they cannot mess with you. But this planet is a planet that's a low planet. It's a fallen planet. And when they look down here, number one, they know that the black man and black woman is dead. They know that the people that's running it, this mutant, cannot go to the highest level of spirituality like the aliens that's coming down. And so they figure that everybody on this planet is dead, at least on the outside of this planet is dead. So therefore, they're saying that this is free territory for exploration. Since the white man does not have a cosmic blueprint, the thing about it is based on melanin, and because he does not belong to a particular part of the brotherhood of the higher realms outside of this planet, they saying that they are free territory and they're just like scrap metal that they can go in and do what the hell they want to do with them. And they don't have no cosmic retribution or no cosmic law to say otherwise. Cosmic law prohibits them from messing with us and the other dark-haired people around the world. But it does not prohibit them from messing with the mutant, because the mutant is not really an individual at all. Remember, if you get my takes, I said that he thinks he's an individual, but he's not really an individual at all. Yet he possesses some appearances. We know he's white, but he got an arm, 2 legs, and the whole 9 yards. And his little idiosyncrasies. But he's not a real individual at all, even though he's not conscious of the act. Because the real individual has a soul that is not only connected in his body, but is connected on higher realms. And because the white man doesn't have a soul, for the simple fact, he does not have melanin, which is called the dark night of the soul, which we'll get into in a few. He's a free scrap metal territory. So therefore, the aliens can come in and experiment and do what the devil they want to do. And put implants in them, give them children, because some of these aliens, especially the grays, they're trying to reincarnate, or they're trying to have babies that come down on this realm. But they give them children, and they do different things with them, and they got a genetic thing going on, because also some of the aliens can use some of the stuff that's in this body as scrap metal to go genes and stuff on other planets. So they come down and just have a big old operating room on white people. One thing they do is they got some things called walk-ins. Now, they're supposed to be 72,000 walk-ins. Now, a walk-in is one thing. When the body is about to die, they have that near-death experience, and then the body comes back. That actual energy, what low energy it is, it don't go to the same place ours go. But that energy that exits the body, which we call, white people is misconstruing that with a soul, but it's not a soul. That's just some energy going to some other part in the universe. Usually reincarnates in 30 years and be back to that same cracker to kill your mama. Then you go ahead and marry that cracker and you walk around with the killer of your mama. It reincarnates like this. And some of our souls reincarnate because we got to do a certain work now. So we reincarnate early too, which I'll get into in a few minutes. Now, this particular energy, once that energy gets out of the white body, wherever it goes, on the low level of the astral plane, on the sub-level of our lowest planes, it don't even get to the Devashanic plane, which is the highest planes, and the higher planes going up to Sirius or wherever. But once that energy goes out of that body and goes to another level, then what happens is this walk-in, this alien, comes in the body and takes over the body. Now, he's down here for experimentation. He's down here to check out the scene. Some of them are down here to check out the scene on how they're going to take the beast up and how they're going to raise the planet up. So they walk around like walk-ins. They can't do that. They're up for the simple fact that we are housed in a vessel of melanin and also a body that's supposed to be the extraterrestrial government. We already have our mission of what we have to do. Since the white man is a dead person anyway, that's called a caucus or astral corpse, which caucus means the dead and Caucasian means the dead Asian. Since he's dead anyway, they can walk into the body. And that little bit of energy goes other places. So when they walk in and they check out the scene, some of them experiment, and some of the aliens that's trying to actually reincarnate or trying to do some things, they walk in to try to get a safe haven on America on this planet because they want to get this planet for themselves because some of their planets are dying. But some of the aliens are part of the brotherhood are coming in and walking in so they can check out the scene. So the aliens are already here and they're walking around. Go get the movie They Live. Good explanation of what's going down. But some of that is not as negative. You understand? But this was called a walk-in. So now they come in. Now what happens is they wear the body like a spacesuit, basically. Sometimes that body is, because it's a physical matter, it's going to conk out. And because it conks out, it ends up in the hospital room. And so now the alien has to make its exit. So what the alien is, it throws out this gas to knock everybody out in the operating room that you've been seeing on the news about the people. You know, that they had the gas and they knocked everybody, the doctor started falling out. And it makes it exit. So they're called walk-in, and it's supposed to be 72,000 walk-in. So we're talking about white people that really don't exist no more. They're already dead, some of them. This is how beautiful this thing is. You understand? The only thing is there's a few people that's keeping this thing in place, and we are helping them by our ignorance and by our fears. Now, those walk-ins wear the body like a spacesuit. Now, there are a group of blue people here that's called the Andromedans. And they're from Andromeda. Now, they say they're blue people and they're human-like people. They're in touch with a group of people on the earth, about four people, they say. One of these guys is some white guy that's on the earth. And he said that these people, the Andromedans told them, said, look, number one, we can give you information. And we can give you information on spiritual things, but we cannot help you. Because number one, this is the land of the gods. And they say we cannot help you. We can give you all the information ever. Now, I got a brother named Juju that's in Atlanta. This brother, he's a very spiritual brother, and he don't talk to nobody. I mean, he talks to people, but he doesn't contact people to talk about spiritual matters. Well, one of the sisters that I go on the radio named Sister Apakita came up and said, Juju want to speak to you. And she said, that's a compliment because he don't speak to nobody. You see, so Juju came up and said, brother, what has happened with you in this lecturing is people on other planets are hearing you. They're hearing this conversation right now because we're talking about a spiritual thing. And they said that some of these white people were trying to make bargains to get off the planet, try to exit. And as a result, because they're hearing me and hearing other black people, a few other people, they are canceling the bargains. Some people on Mars, some people on other planets and stuff, canceling these bargains that these white people have already made with them to exit the planet, and now they say we don't want them. Hell, if you ain't learning how to live on this planet with anybody, how the hell you think you're going to go to some other planet? You see, so they say that this is work that's already going on, so this is also saying that these white people got a retribution to pay and they can't get off of it by fronting that space age stuff. You see. Now, these graves are here, and they said there's 18,000 graves. And they're merging with white people because of their planet being destroyed. And they're implanting them, they're merging, they're giving them babies and all kinds of stuff like that. But what's happening is because their planet, they've come to find out that they are not being able to survive, because number one, they picked the weakest person to survive with that doggone mutant that's dying off every day with skin cancer. So they're merging with those people, but this stuff is not working. So, hundreds of them are being abducted and stuff is going on right now that we just don't know about. And these are things that's also happening with this particular crackers. Now, if you get the Bill Cooper's tape, the tape what is called Alternative 3, where they had the actual people, Russia and the United States that went to Mars in 1963 on an unmanned mission, and it touched down on 1963, and they actually show it. Then they show something under the ground moving. And then the Russians not knowing what's up said, we've landed on Mars 1963, and there's life. Well, on the tape they showed that they had a brain drain in actual Britain, and they snatched up all these so-called scholars and engineers and mathematicians, and they took them on the moon and built a space station on the moon. The crackers did this stuff. And they also built a space station on Mars. Also, come to find out that the Russians had been on the moon since 1959 before the white man, the other one, before the United States. And they joined the pact together and the whole 9 yards, and they've been in brothers and sisters ever since the early 60s or the early 50s. And my mother always told me, now you know doggone well, if I got a bubblegum machine full of doggone colored bubblegum, and I got 2 white bubblegums, and they're ruling the world, both one capitalism, one communism. You know doggone well we ain't gonna fight each other so the rest of the colored bubblegums can take over again. But we'll separate one and the other, and this is how they rule the world. It's all a whole. Capitalism and communism is one and the same. Right. So this is the whole deal, and we know this because why in the devil Russia and America supposed to be enemies ever since until 1990? Why are they gonna go to the moon or to Mars in 1963? It was all a hoax to keep people world controlled. Now, one of the other things is they say that Kennedy knew about this, and Kennedy told him, when did Kennedy die? 62, right? 63. Kennedy told him he was going to drop the bomb on all of the whole UFO stuff about a year, he said a year, I think around 1964, he's supposed to drop it. Right before he died, he was supposed to drop this stuff. Right after he died. At the time, sometime going close to his death, he's supposed to drop it. And that's another reason they had to get rid of him. Even though it was a complexity of reasons. One of them, and the reason why he was turned on, because when he went over to Cuba and started dabbling in their affair, the Cubans told him the real deal on what was going on. And how Russia, this whole communism thing, capitalism thing was nothing. And how they told him the real deal was based on this whole space age thing. So one of the reasons why they took him out was also that too. Now, fortunately, there's a group of people that are already taking over the space base on Mars. And that's why they snatched those satellites up. And they've taken this particular space base on Mars over. And they took this thing over, so now the white man don't even have that. And it's supposed to be these particular draconians. But so now the white boy is giving this stuff and saying these particular draconians are supposed to be negative people. But if I studied ancient Hemmitt, one of the dynasties in Hemmitt was called the Draconian dynasty, which was talking about Sothic, when the original person in the great mother sits in the constellation of Draconia, or Draco. So this Draconians that they talk about are some of the doggone people that are under the ground. So some of these people that's under the ground can't necessarily be all negative. Because we know that we ain't seeing no negative side of it. All these white people are coming down with these negative aliens bothering them, but we're not seeing the negative side of it. And so these supposed people is supposed to, in actuality, running this government. They're saying that the extraterrestrials already running things. So in actuality, their stuff is over. When they said in this particular time frame was up for the white man, he's just buying time, and he's just like in the middle. He one of the real deal pawns. And so this whole thing is getting ready to go down. And so what's happening is they're saying that also too that these people are taking over Mars, and they've also said that these white people are trying to say that they got this great Sananda, or this Haton, or this Ishtar, and it's supposed to be project evacuation, because this great Sananda who loves the world is supposed to come and evacuate all of these white people. They say that that's bullshit. The aliens told this particular white boy, said that that's bullshit. They ain't no such thing as no Sananda, or no Haton, or no Ishtar. He said those are things that the white man has made up. He said they ain't going nowhere. He said they ain't getting off the planet. Say ain't nobody coming nowhere to try to lift them up. So now all these white people are into what you call ascension. And they got ascension manuals on how you can get off the planet and ascend your body and get and leave the planet. They say all that is bullshit. Bullshit, use expression. They say that they're not even going to be beamed up, because the simple fact that the retribution is come, and they got to take all responsibility for what's getting ready to go down, so there is nothing out there in the cosmos for them. Now, that leaves them to look for a world savior that's going to save them, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. But they still got these things where they're sending up these particular satellites in the whole 9 yards, and they're sending up this space shuttle, and everything on the space shuttle is over about 1,000 years obsolete compared to the stuff that we got. And these aliens, some of the renegade aliens, which are supposed to be inferior craft than our craft, is still 80,000 years more advanced than what the white man has also too. So these are some things that's also going on. Now, one of the main things that is set down is the black man and black woman need to wake up, and one of the things they're dealing with is this particular religion. The aliens said it is the biggest problem we got here. If they would have to get through to anything, the first thing they would do is eliminate these religions. They say these religions are all putting people in slavery, because it is giving you everything on how you're supposed to worship something above, and you are worshiping something outside of yourself. Because the thing that is up above, you get to that particular great creator up above by going into him and then doing it. You see, there's no such thing really as space out here. That's a hologram that you see. They say in actuality the realms, the reason why they said that the white man could never be successful with his particular space travel, because it was all physical. What he didn't realize is those particular realms, there's no such thing as up there. It's just dimensions. And based on how you tap into the archetypes of the collective unconsciousness in your mind, you can get to those dimensions, not by getting in a spaceship and going up there, but get through those dimensions in your own mind. So they're saying that these religions stop you from getting to that particular point, because they understand that each one of these religions, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, have esoteric counterparts of those religions that you don't study. The Hebrew esoteric and the Christian esoteric counterpart. Well, the Christian one is the Kabbalah, or the Kabbalistic mystery system. The Islamic is the Sufi mystery system, and the Mosaic is also the Kabbalah and also the Egyptian mystery system, because we know that the Egyptian mystery system is where the Torah and all of that sprung out of. So what you are worshiping is the exoteric, and even though the keys are in there, but you don't have 1,000 years to dig those up. So what you're worshiping is good moral understanding that you knew right and wrong by the age of 12, at least. You know good moral standing. So you don't need no preacher to stand up to you and tell you stuff that you give him a call and response back every Sunday. You go, that's right. Well, if it's, that's right, why are you giving this man praises for teaching you something or telling you something you already know? See, if the preacher was really on the real metaphysical game as far as raising you up to the spirituality, 10 years, he don't supposed to have no students. You're supposed to graduate, and now you teaching, and some other group is sitting there. That's right. You understand what I'm saying? So that is keeping you in slavery. So one of the first things they said they would do is to get rid of all these doggone religions and get you the esoteric part of what God is, which is the stuff that I'm teaching right now. You understand what I'm saying? So, but some of this dogma is killing us. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't help but doggone have a big ego, eat the wrong foods, kill each other, and everything that's established on the airplane that you're saying that you want to get rid of, it's established along with these religions. If we are living in hell, and these religions are the actual apex or the actual foundation of this hell, and you talking about going in hell's gate every time you go in those particular churches and listen to that nonsense. And since there ain't no particular devil, and you done caught all the hell here anyway, so therefore, it'll just be phase 2 if I'm telling a lie. So therefore, you don't have nothing to worry about. So therefore, it don't sound so spooky for me to sit up here and tell you, if you really want to liberate yourself, take a stand. Don't go back up in them churches. Because let me tell you something. I talk to the cosmic realm weekly. And I ain't been in no church since 1990 because I got better sense to go up in there. And even if I say I'm serving the Lord, you serve the Lord by getting some smarts. Because they say ignorance is evil in Hemmitt. And the day every day you live, you're supposed to learn something. And the day that you don't learn something is the day that you don't live. So we all dead people. So the real spiritual attainment is learning some knowledge and then not only taking that knowledge, but applying that knowledge to lift yourself up to another realm of spirituality. And this particular religions are actually keeping you from that. Any person that's telling you to follow them as God, and they're not telling you that ye are the gods too, that person is not giving you the correct information. And it's about, on this earth plane, it's not about building no more civilization. It's not about getting your own money. It's not none of that. It's about becoming God. And a person is telling you anything less than coming God, he ain't on the actual case. He is telling you some bull jive. You see. Take for instance, people laugh at the little Imam Esau. Some of you know he's a Nubian nation. They wear all the white in Atlanta, and they give out these little books of this strange mythology. But see, this man, yeah, he had a little ego in the whole 9 yards, but the brothers who told him, you got to start doing what you say you're supposed to do. And so therefore, he started telling the people that they are the gods and they are the Elohim. And he also told them that we got to get ready for this vortex that happened in April. The same vortex that we went down on the Pinson Mounds in Jacksonville and freed some Indian souls and opened up the vortex and got some Jews. Ever since then, we have not seen Brother Imam Esau. He pulled all his people off the street. Told them, you don't need to sell nothing, you don't need to do nothing. Now he's teaching them all about this cosmic stuff because he's doing the rightful things and trying to raise them up to be the Elohims or the fallen God or the exaltation of a higher God. You see what I'm saying? So this is the stuff that's going on. If nobody ain't telling you these particular things, they're wrong. And they got a lot of people that's already dealing. A lot of people that's already hooked into the brotherhood. You got the brother Solomon. He's doing a certain amount of work. They said he got to work on his ego a little bit. And these are some of the things they did take to the spirit. He hooked up. Brother Imam Esau hooked up. A couple of other people hooked up. Raw enough, and they say he ain't getting nothing from as far as they concerned. I'm telling you what the brothers would say. They say, because number one, this nigga is dealing with an ego. And I know for a fact when his first book, and I'm not saying the book is not accurate, don't get me wrong. We're not saying it's misinformation. The man has done the work when it comes to the book. But see, they say that too often, some of our particular people that we give the juice to, the ego comes in, and the ego is the worst thing that kills everything. So you start worshiping the man, even if the man said, don't follow me, they show you certain indications to say that I'm the one and you're supposed to follow me. So you start following the man and start going within. So he give you all this stuff to raise up and stuff, but I remember when the man first made the Better after he did the lecture, I was so hyped up. This was in 1990 when the book first came out. But in order to answer question and answer, he got on a chair. You had to go and bow down to this mug to even get the question and answer. Now, if you the doggone God, what the hell you doing bowing down to this jive, nigga? And if anybody got you bowing down to them, and they ain't got you to the point where you can doggone do all the stuff as a God, that ain't no good. So therefore, they say we cut off the stuff with the brother. You see, so he did this particular thing, and I'm quite sure that the brother has a certain amount of things. But then again, if you following this man in a particular organization where this particular person got you so locked in that you can't even conceive of anything outside of that particular group you in, it's the wrong thing, because this is universal knowledge, and you don't supposed to follow nobody. So these are things that's going on that the ego, we got to quell this ego, and we need a class in humility, because the humility is the key. Now they told me, they said, we done gave you a few little things, and you got out of here, and you started teaching a few people. And number one, we gave you all this knowledge that you got. Even if you got these books, we had to tell you what the size of these books. They said, you're doing all right, but one thing you better not do is you, number one, be fair to the people. Don't tell them people how you follow me. I'm the man. Follow me. And tell the people, no, you all one. We all together in this stuff, and there ain't no, I'm no better than you, and don't come with no ego stuff, or you're going to lose the juice too. You see, because it's all about telling the people who they are. You the Elohims and you the God. And anybody telling you that they got one up over you, then that's different. Now, they might have a certain amount of people that they received, was privileged to, give me a privilege to receive this information and stuff, but that's only to jumpstart the rest of the black people's brains to tell them that they the gods too. And if anybody's telling you that they got one up over you and they the Messiah in the whole 9 yards, and you know just about every group now, the leader of them groups, everybody's the Messiah. You got my man, Ben Armin, he telling everybody he's the Messiah. You see, he the Messiah. So you got all these groups and they telling everybody they Messiah or they this and they that, but they not telling the people that ye are gods. You see, and they know better. Some of these people, they know better because they was given this particular wisdom by the brotherhood. But once they misuse that wisdom with their egos and put themselves on a high level, they automatically lose it. And the ego shuts down the channel and they can't get the knowledge from God. And this is how things is going on also too. So one of these biggest problems is this religion. And you worship the preacher. You see what I'm saying? And isn't that something sad to worship a black man that's the most dumbest thing in the universe? He dumber than the doggone mutant beast cracker. Ain't nothing dumber on the planet than a doggone some of these preachers. I'm not saying all of them. If a person is trying to exalt themselves and saying, I'm trying to get my people to the right level, but some of these preachers don't know nothing. And you got 140 years of that particular theology and you are in the worst shape ever. You see what I'm saying? These doggone Negro preachers is the dumbest thing and you following them. You understand what I'm saying? You following them and all this kind of thing. Then you understand why everybody in here, you saying, I'm bearing witness, but I got problems with my family. I can't get my family into this kind of stuff. They're not going to bear witness to this. Because your family is stuck in that. But one of the main things is that you don't supposed to get your family. When this stuff goes down, you are the representative for your family. You know a certain amount of people. You don't have to go knock your mom over the head. Because this was a common question. Everybody asked me in the lecture. Well, what about this here? My family, they ain't want to get with. I got a brother don't want to get with. I got a mama don't want to get with. You are the representative for them. Because you were privileged to get the weight up and privileged to get the kind of knowledge now. You are a representative to save them. You understand? That's called the real meaning of the 144,000. It's not 144,000 only people going to be saved on the earth. You got 80,000 black people in Brazil alone. You got 80 million black people in Brazil alone. You got 60 million here now, they're saying. You got all these black people here, that ain't including the continent. And they got people that live on a much spiritual nature vibe too. We won't even make the cut. They'll have a long line and they'll get to 144,000 before we even get the first African American. And if they talking about it, and if they talking about the black people over here being 144,000, the only ones that's going to live, they will have to go and invent some doggone black people to make that 144,000. None of us fit that bill of the personification of the perfect man to do that, but they're not talking about that. They're talking about 144,000 people that are the light bringers that jumpstart the other niggas' brains. And they're not talking about, so you are those people, you are the representative for those ignorant people who was not privileged enough in this particular cycle to get the knowledge. You got it for them. So you bear the burden. Let them act like a doggone fool. Let them believe what they want. Don't chastise them. You bear the burden for them. So when all the hell come down, they be running like crazy. They'll be glad to know you see now. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. They're going to get it in a few doggone months. So this is why you are on the scene now. That's why they wake some of you up now to wake the others up. You don't go to bed at the same time. You don't wake up at the same time in the morning. So why you think everybody going to wake up at one time? This is the problem with all the people in the 60s. They thought it was a mass movement, and the masses, they got wore out by the masses. Because the masses is a dead people. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the hells of North America. The earth wouldn't be in no messed up problem, and wouldn't be no problem us being up in here talking. If everything was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I could go get my bull can, and you know what I'm saying? We can go down to the disco and do a whole lot of stuff. But it's got to be a certain amount of sacrifice, so you bear the burden for those black people, and you don't even have to even go to them and step to them in this late hour and try to teach them nothing. There's going to be things that's going to happen in the next couple of months that they're going to bear witness on the physical level. But then they're going to need answers on what's going on, and that's where you feel those answers. That's where you give the answers. And this is how the 144,000 work. The light brings. So these are some things that's going on, so it don't have to be a whole mass of people. Saying, look how many people up in here. We ain't got but a few people. Where all the rest of the black people? We don't need them. Where only two or more are gathered in my name. You understand that? The white man ain't running you by the masses. The white people, it's a small clique. It's running everything. They got that from us. So therefore, it's like this with us. It's a small clique. You got that? So these are some things that's getting ready to go on. Now, do not be afraid that you are God. Whatever they tell you. If this universe is on one motion and you are a doggone composite or a product of the Most High, that means that you got the same attributes of the Most High. And this is why they're saying that they are tired of black people praying to them all the doggone time. They say they're tired of black people praying to them. When you are God, they're saying go within and look for no God to save you but yourself, because that's how you are the earth representative of the embodiment of God. So therefore all power is given to you. And at this particular time, in this cycle, in the quickening, all power is given. So they're saying they don't want no more prayers and all this kind of thing here because it ain't doing nothing. It ain't even hitting the ceiling. You understand? Because some of you praying to the cracker. Praying to the white man who cut off all your electricity. You go and pray to that cracker that cut off your electricity. And all. Because you too doggone crazy to really think that the black man and black woman is God. Well, it seems to me, if we talk about the context of a God, in the context of the planet as we know it, and we know that if you say a physical embodiment of something that identifies itself as God, because otherwise it comes in the human figure because you can't identify that self as far as God on another level, then therefore if we're the original people on the earth and this is our planet, then we know that we cannot be nothing but that embodiment of God. It's real simple. You just got to toy with it in your mind and get out that particular ignorance, which is worse than crack. You understand what I'm saying? This particular drug and the fear. They say one of the main things that's holding this universe lopsided is they got a fear that's going on. And they say this planet holds more fear than anything. The white man has a fear because he fears being born. Go see the movie on Tombstone with Val Kilmer and all this. A Western just came out. I think this movie came out the first of this year. Anyway, in the movie, Wyatt Earp, he's going to kill this particular guy. And so the guy said, he said, what make a guy that evil? And they're talking about something about this. They write things, they write sociological things on what's going down with them. And they're writing from where they think. They say, well, that guy is so evil, he looks into his heart, and he got a big hole inside, and ain't nothing in it. So he has to fill that by killing, and he has to fill that by killing, lying, stealing, cheating, and the whole 9 yards, anything destructive. They say, but they say, but because he's mad, he's angry. He's angry at the world. They say, well, what makes this man angry at the world? They say, he's angry for being born. That means the white man has a restless nature because he's cut off from the highest ego, so he's a rebel, and he's mad at the world for being born, for his own existence. So that's the xenophobic attitude based on the fear. We have fear because we are now reduced to a subhuman level and we don't know what's going on. And because we don't have the knowledge of self. And knowledge, ignorance is the lack of knowledge, and ignorance is fear. You fear something because you don't have a knowledge of it. So the most fear on this planet is us, is in the universe, is this particular earth, the simple fact that we are dead planet. And because we are dead, we fear everything. So these are some things that's also going on. Now, I want to show you something because this is some things pertaining to me. They said another thing that you got to understand is you got to understand the knowledge of reincarnation history. Who you were in your previous lives, on back into who you were before you fell. Because each one of the gods are you that fell. The composite, those great ones that you talk about in history, they are embodied in you. That's why they put you in the hells of North America. In the world, in the most powerful country, you and while all the rest of your people all around the country, all over the world is dead. And so that means that because you're sitting here at this particular time, interested in a message other than doggone something else, that means that in actuality you are those particular people. So they said that the reincarnation history is about you. Now I know that I was a ancient priest in Atlantis. I know that I was a scribe in Hemmitt. I was a housewife in Atlantis. So that means, and you talking that macho bull jive, the spirit, hey, you probably was this and that, so it ain't no difference. You understand what I'm saying? And stuff. So I was even a housewife in Atlantis. So that means we can get with the male and female, the dualities, because ain't no such thing. That's the white man and his xenophobic thing that appeals his woman. So I was a housewife, I was a scribe, and then I was a priest twice in Atlanta. The last time I was a priest, I got threw out of the mission system because I started messing with one of my students. one of these girls. And as a result, they threw me out the mystery system. Then she was going back on the doggone airplane in a couple about 9 years after me. She was going back on the airplane, and they sent me this particular sister back for me to teach her. They sent me this sister back last August. And now, me and the sister kicking it, but they say, now you all supposed to hook up. But the main thing is, you supposed to teach her, they said, because that's to take the karma off you, because you was one of the reasons why she got threw out of the mystery system. So you all got to bring yourself up, and don't fall off the path, because if you fall off the path, you going to perish, because both of you agreed to come back to not only rewrite your wrongs, but you also agreed to come back to help your people. So I know I was that particular person, and my serious name is Amanza. My name back then was Medjura, and one of my names was Menesra, and one of my names was Anru, and her name now is Mentusiba Ra'a, and the whole 9 yards, and there's some spiritual connotation as far as the God on who we are and what is our mission also too. So the other day I said, well, who was I in the recent years? They said, well, number one, you was a slave. You were a slave. And they said, I said, was I in slavery? They said, yeah. They said, but you were in the early part of slavery. And they said, you didn't last long because you was one of them kind of Negroes that refused to be a slave. So when you ran up north and when you tried to escape, when they caught up with you, you still tried to escape because you refused to go back and they shot you in the back. So you died early on in the first part of slavery when it first got going. And they said, that's why you don't like your back to be uncovered now. I said, well, that ain't not this. I guess they talking about an innate pathology. I said, I didn't know that. I said, I always went swimming or whatever and stuff the whole night before I got fat and all this kind of stuff. I said, but I didn't. Never liked my back to be uncovered. But they were telling me things about me that I didn't even know. Then they said, and then it got real kind of funny because now I got to go to Mississippi to find out something. And they said, the last time you was here, I'm going to give you this because I wrote it down because I was talking to the sister on the phone when I was getting this. She said, and my name before was Fichu. Fichu was my name when I was a slave, a runaway slave that was shot in the back. Now, also now they said that my name was, now they said that I was recently, I guess it was probably right after slavery. I'll show you this stuff. They said I was right after slavery and my name was, I was in Mississippi and I was a sharecropper and my name was Ray Turner. Now I got to go to Mississippi and find out who it is. I think Tina Turner from Mississippi, so you never know. They said I was Ray Turner and I had the slave masters was Turners. And you know how it is, after they got out of slavery, we stayed on there sharecroppers in the whole 9 yards. And I was supposed to get this piece of land. Now this is some amazing stuff I'm telling you. I mean, we sitting here and we talking about life things. So they said now, I was Ray Turner and the slave master was Turner. And I was supposed to get some land from him because I was sharecropping to work off the sharecrop, work off a piece of land that I was getting. And I ended up working for him and he ended up shitting me and I didn't get the land. You see some stuff like that, and I was in Mississippi in the whole 9 yards. So, you know, I might bust up on somebody's doorstep and say, hey, guess what? I'm your great-grandfather. You see, this brother he might be 60 years old now and all, you know. But this is some spiritual stuff. I don't think that's important because in actuality, they never did tell me the stuff about Ray Turner and the stuff about the runaway slave because they said that wasn't important. I had to pry that out of them. They said, well, you wasn't a God then, so we don't want to tell you about that. We only want to tell you when you was a God on the God level in Atlanta and in Hemmitt when you was the high priest. Because they want to show you, so when you tap into this stuff by meditation, and when you get to your higher self, which you're going to be getting to soon, they're going to tell you things on when you was the God. They're not interested in how many lifetimes you've been here as regular doggone people, you know what I'm saying? That's not interesting. They want to find out the location of what talent you had when you was on the God level and what attribute you was when you was on the God level, so therefore you can take that attribute and use it to rescue yourself, your people, and liberate us from this planet, or liberate us from the beast, and also, doggone, put his behind in check. You understand? Through physical death and stuff like that, or the retransformation of the mutant into a spiritual higher power. Therefore, you still got to kill him in the whole 9 yards, those that don't want to cooperate. So therefore, they're saying this particular reincarnation history is history that we also have to deal with also. So now, They asked and said, well, what was Jesus? They said Jesus was a composite of other Christ figures in one, mainly used to give you this composite story for control, so you can never go without yourself. You'll always be into this whole Jesus thing, but you'll never tap into the God that you are. So that's one of the things also, too, was this composite character, because we know that he is the Godhead root and identical to him. We know that part of him is Krishna, identical to him. Now we know that Akhenaten, he's identical to him. And now they talk about him being in the West. We know he's Quetzalcoatl, identical to him. And it's a composite character that the doggone priesthood put together for control. Because they knew that also, too, that the priesthood, that this particular historical Jesus that they talk about, Joshua ben Pandera, that they naming it after, they know that he was in a mystery system, and he was unlike his brothers that studied in the mystery system with him. And if he was the Son of God, why in the devil he had to go to somebody else to learn something? You see the whole 9 yards, but they got that period of history missing out his life, that whole 9 yards and stuff, if he ever existed. But just for the sake, they say, we don't know if that one ever existed, but we have located Joshua ben Pandera. But the one that we are all going crazy about is a myth. It's a science of becoming Christ. And we thinking of somebody else, and this is what the whole story was on the Christ. Anyway, is to raise yourself up, because they got that with those rays you see with the hands. The rays with the hands right here, even if you see right here, those hands are you. Each one of you raising yourself up to get to the Godhead. And the one that comes, the ever-coming Son that comes, he's just a doggone preacher or a warner to get the other people on a particular frequency. So these are some things that's also going on too. Sai Baba, who is in India, who can transform money out of did I bring the picture? You ever got a picture in Sai Baba? It's a black man in India with an afro. He is the black god Krishna, reincarnated. Also, one of his names was Vishnu, was an early form of Krishna, reincarnated. He's on the airplane. He's back on the airplane right now. Sai Baba is his name. And he is this particular Christ figure to let you know that he ain't no different than you. It's just that he awake and you sleep. But he jump-starting the Negroes' brains, them black people brains in India. But he's a blue-black man, Krishna. And he's got this big afro. And he's the one and stuff. And he said, I'm black to show you that the original form was a black man. And the whole 9 yards. And he's supposed to be the reincarnation of the Christ figure also, too. They said that all prophets, Moses, Muhammad, anybody you name of when you go with Hebrew mythology, Egyptian mythology, all of them back on the earth plane. And because all of us black people, some of you all are sitting right in here. It's back on the earth plane. Now what had happened was when I went to Jacksonville, Florida, when I was there, I met a brother that said he was Noah. He said a few things to me. I said, well, brother, you own it. He said a few things about me. I said, you couldn't have known that. And so, come to find out that one of the sisters said that he was of the Noah hierarchy, but because of his ego, he just thought that I'm Noah, and I'm the only one. He said, there's a mothership getting ready to come soon, and it's all about me. Well, she said, I'm not saying that the mothership ain't coming because he is studying the truth. But she was one of the motherships, because there's several motherships, even Elijah Muhammad said that. But she said because his ego, because they gave him this particular knowledge and he could not take it. And thinking that he's the only one and not thinking that this is a science that all of us can raise to, he starts saying, I'm the one. So his ego is blocking it for him getting higher messages. Because once the ego come in, because you're not humble, it blocks it. So you start going crazy. So as a result, he told me, he said there was a group of white people that was in town. He said that, because like I said, they know that all the gods are back. So he said there was a group of white people in town. He said they want you to come back down. He said because they know you done tapped into the Alistair Crowley thing, and they say you from Sirius. He said, but they say they own the cosmic, they got this cosmic church of God or whatever. He said they're a group of witches. He said, but on the spiritual end, he said they're witches. He said they don't like people from Sirius. He said, but what the deal is, they want you to come by because they got to respect you, so they want to give you some information. I said, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. They don't like me, but they got to respect me and give me some information. So what happened was, white people are dealing on another realm now. They're dealing in the realm of this cosmic realm, and a lot of stuff that's happening in you is by psychic self-defense, or psychic warfare. So they're doing things, there was a sister in Rochester. She didn't want to hear none of this black stuff. I don't want to hear that old black stuff. She come and cuss her sister out. You were just an old crazy nigga. I don't want to hear nothing. But she was a school teacher in Rochester, New York. And she didn't want to hear nothing. Went out with a few white boys and all. So, but see, we schizophrenic. We don't want to hear the black stuff from them. black people, but when we get around white people, you know what I'm saying, we all up in their face, and I'll tell you what to do, because I don't let no white people run over me. So white people said, okay, we're going to show you some stuff. So they started doing some psychic warfare, and she was waking up with cuts on her, gashes on her, burned cigarette burn. They're using the same Bodun and the root stuff that we used to use, using the stuff on her, and she was about to die. She called her sister up. And the sister remembered me talking about a book called Dion Fortune's Psychic Self-Defense. She remembered me saying the book on the tape. And she went and got the book from Samuel Wise, because she lives in New York. She lives in Queens, and shipped it to her sister. And the sister said the only thing that saved her life was that particular book. So white people dealing on this particular realm. So now, I had the sister Ty Feely, who was the channeler, the spiritual sister that I'm in touch with. I had her down there with me in Jacksonville. So I came out and said, wait a minute now. I said, this is, I said that this thing is going down. I said, that he's saying that I need to go someplace tomorrow and meet these particular white people. And she said, no. She said, what's happening? She said, yeah. She said, they came in the spirit realm. Because even though we talk about the spirit realm, they can't get on high levels, but some of the stuff in the other dimension is still low. They can still get to that level. So they checked you out while you was down there rapping to the people. So they knew that this brother is tripping on this whole thing about him being Noah, which he could have gone to a certain level of an attainment. So they said, since he crazy, they use him saying, you know what, and this brother here is a brother, he high up there, he gonna bring the people to you. So they using him to get me to go over there. As soon as I went over there, they was gonna zap my behind. But see, what happened was they could not touch me because see, I didn't hold the libations, you see. And all the spirits was around me, so they could come in and observe it, they couldn't get through. Because see, I didn't cover my behind, I didn't hold the libations, which you should do every morning before you step out the house, and every night before you go to bed. Now you understand what I'm saying? If you know some God, get your book and just call them out and pour them libations. So they couldn't get through, so they was going to try to zap me, but they couldn't get through on this realm. So what happened was, they wanted me to come by there the next day. They wanted me to come over there, so when I go in their house, my God couldn't get into their shit. And I'll be up in there like, excuse me for cursing like that. No, I'm just, you know, we in warfare now, so, you know, it ain't about no prim and proper and all this stuff here. We talking about chicken ass, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? And this is all on the God thing, because some of these things we call cuss words is a part of the language, English language. They ain't considered cuss words in other languages, so hell with it. So, they was going to wait till I get inside of the place where my guys was all locked off and they could just tear my butt up, you see. But the sister said, no, they was going to try to zap your behind. So these are things that's getting ready to go down also, too. That's also going down, too. Now, number one thing that's going down also is they're saying that the earth, that since the American government is made up of white people, and you are your people and your people are you, that's the African proverb. I am that because we are because I am. They're saying that these white people have got to take the responsibility for everything that the doggone government and the New World Order and all the people doing to other people. They got to take the responsibility for it. You see. Now, if you align yourself with that old American thing, you might get this way too, but then again, they also know that you crazy too. But see, they know what's the white man's excuse. He's the original beast that he say he's supposed to be. But they're saying he's got to take responsibility. So don't let none of these white people come to you saying this is a whole thing, it's about universal brotherhood. That's bullshit. Let's step away from them crackers because they got to get that retribution back. Because remember that reincarnation thing. Now the aliens have said your history is a reincarnation history, and so since they some of those beasts, this reincarnated from catching, this giving you hell before, they got to catch that retribution. So now they got to catch this particular retribution, and they got to take full responsibility for everything that the white man is doing in these countries. White men say, well, what have I done? I don't do nothing to go to work every day. No, because you are a part of this American government, and because every white person to this day still say they love America. Even Bill Clinton and all these, Bill Cooper, all these white people talking about the New World Order, they still say they love America and they love this Constitution, which is built on the back of black people. So my point is this, they got to take responsibility. So step away from all them particular crackers and stuff, because they got to do it. Now the white people are saying now that they're not going to blame the government for what they're doing. They're saying that they're going to go in and help the government. So therefore, what kind of thing is this particular government that's so messed up? But see, this is how they caught them in a trap. Because they have hid history from white people. So white people don't really think that the government in America is all that bad, because all they've been getting was this falsification of a lie about it being the greatest country on earth. It ain't never been the greatest country on earth for us. Never. And we just quote that because we're a creature by habit. We just say things because of why we heard it off of TV. We so sick, we hear things off of TV and become that. You understand? Go to the club now. Watch Soul Train on Saturday morning. And if you're going to go to the club, sometimes go to the club just to be an observer. You're doing a case study. And go to the club and watch them. They be acting just like Soul Train. Some of these people. Some of the sisters be acting just like Soul Train. It's the same. I mean, we function straight off of TV. That's why they got it in every home. Because they know every black person, he got two things in his house, a stereo and a TV. And if he ain't got a stereo, he got the doggone TV. He might have a little radio, but he got a TV. You see. So now, these people, those people, they have been fooled, so they think that America is beautiful. So therefore, they are the last thing to still try to put down America. So therefore, as a man and woman thinking, so is he or she. So now the whole thing about it is we're not going to forgive them. You should never forgive the white man for what he's done. Or the Bible say forgive. Now, the Bible told you that all men were created equal. But the white man ain't no doggone man. That's a mutant. And you can say the physical ramifications behind that he ain't a doggone real person. If so, why is the doggone skin cancer taking him out? You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, all men are created equal in the whole 9 yards. They ain't talking about. Them books was written for us. Remember, they wasn't even on the planet then. So my whole point is how is it now? The sun is the manifestation that's supposed to give everything under the sun is supposed to strive from it. And the white man is dying from it, from the skin cancer. And now he's dying from it even more. So my point is, it ain't about no doggone white man telling you no bull jive and you saying that you going to forgive white people. You forgive your own brother. So you quickly forgive a white person. Some black people did some stuff to you 4 years ago, 10 years ago. I ain't done. But the white man can come and kick you in the hand and you trying to forgive him. You forgiving him while he kicking you in the butt. You see what I'm saying? So that's talking about you and your situation because these laws, it's all about you. We don't have to apologize to nobody, none of them. Now, all the other darker-haired people been hit in the head too. But some of them been hit in the head to come against us. But my whole point is this here. At this time, we don't even have to even include them if they don't want to get down with it. They can go out with the beast too. The only one we're supposed to make an alliance with is the Native Americans. And for one reason, I'm going to show you something. And we're doing that particular thing. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm going to show you this before we go on. Now, number one, the New World Order is speeding itself up. They got to put this stuff in action. Like I said, the money going down in July, they got to put this stuff in action because they know because 1995, they stuff is through. So they're going to try to put it in action now. You understand what I'm saying? So now they're putting this stuff in action now. Two things is getting ready to happen. Number one, we're supposed to go to the Empress on the 19th. That's in Louisiana, do a spiritual ceremony on a mound called the Phoenix Mound. Or you can just go to a mound. They got an Etowah Mound here in Georgia. They got the Pinson Mounds in Tennessee. They probably got some other ones in Nashville. Go to some of the mounds if you can and just go in and set up and do what you got to do. You don't have to have no certain set ritual. Just go in there and just sit down there and meditate a little bit, do your little prayer, whatever you got to do. Just spend some time out there with the people. You know, doing some things, you know, in your own way of doing your stuff. But see, now, we're going down to one in Louisiana. We met a sister, another spiritual sister in Jacksonville. This sister don't leave the house. She said God won't even let her out the door. She be channeling all day. And she be up in there, some spirits come up in there and be like, you know, be good spirits, but they come there and want to visit her too. She be like, I don't know you. She be talking like, I don't know you. You got to get out of here. I don't know you. You have to get on out of here. They said this sister is bad. But anyway, it was two sisters, and a sister and brother that I went to visit and lecture for down there. This sister, they got in touch with her and she gave them things, gave them offerings to take to the mound. And she said, look, when you on your mounds on the 19th, wherever you are, she said, you're going to hear a jolt. And she said, when you hear that jolt, L.A. and New York going under. This is what the sister said. Now, I said, okay, dang. So I talked to the other sister, Todd Seeley, and she said, yeah, they supposed to go under. She said the same thing. She said, but some of those white people have been doing spiritual things to try to avoid that. She said, so it could, and they might come up with something else to sustain it. She said, yep, they're supposed to go under. Especially New York, because New York has got all these buildings that they threw up. And they know that those buildings, they tried to copy Kemet. And like I said, they threw up all these tall buildings with no spiritual connotation because we used to build things from spiritual to physical. and now the earth got a wobble in it. So now they got to tear down all of that particular stuff. And plus, black people can't get no spirituality up there for the simple fact that there's all them buildings. Like when I was in New York, I had to use my spirit. Right now, I had to use my energy. At the time, I used the spirit's energy. Right now, I'm flowing in the spirit. I'm using the spirit energy. I glance down and find, see, I have to glance down because I be all up here. So I have to glance down and see my trigger notes to see what I'm on. I don't be reading off the paper. These are trigger notes to say, okay, I'm going to talk about this. Because I'm in the spirit. There, when I was in New York, I had to use my spirit. Even though I came across great, and it was like you, but I had to use my spirit, and that's because of all them buildings. So everybody up there's all intellectual. You know, that's why you see they rushed me to get the books. Because they couldn't get the concept of going in, sitting down, and meditating in the whole 9 yards. Even though some of them, but it's the climate up there, they say, because New York got to go. So they was like, that's why they told Brother Dawood, you got to get out of New York, brother. And different things, man. They tell them New York is about to go. That's just a hotbed that's getting ready to go up on it. So now the sister's saying this stuff is supposed to happen. Also, there's supposed to be a major earthquake supposed to be in Europe. And it's supposed to hit Japan. And it's supposed to hit Japan, and it's supposed to go all the way across to Europe. That's why the Japanese are buying up all this stuff over here. Because they know that that's going up under the water. So this is some stuff that's also true. Now, you also heard, now you know they got the skin cancer hitting in the whole 9 yards and hitting the white man. You know, now you know, and we was up in Tennessee, in Jackson, and Sister Talmakila, her mother's a teacher. She said they done gave her these big things in plastic, you know, they pull them out, these things that they put on the wall. And they got up there, if you don't have melanin, stay out of the sun, and all this stuff. She getting these things in the school now. And they put it on there so the kids to warn them to stay out of the sun, because the sun now has got a ray coming from Sirius that's killing them, and all. It's killing them. And these white people still tanning. They still tanning, and this stuff getting ready to kill they behind because they don't possess the melanin. And so the earth is eliminating itself from them. Now they got this new skin disease in Britain. It's an epidemic. You seen this thing? Yeah. Eat up all the flesh. In a couple of hours, too. This melts the flesh. So they got that stuff that's going down. You see what I'm saying? They got the cats. They got the animals. They got everything that's killing them all. So these are things that's happening now also is going down. It's also now. Also, we had the Greys, to let you know, the Greys took over a small town in Texas. That's the alien group. They took over the small town in Texas. So now the white man said he gonna move on them. He gonna try to go move on this town. So he got his best Navy SEALs and Green Beret to go move in. Because they're on an advanced level, they knew they was coming a week before they was coming. And when they got there, they was dead in 6 minutes. All them crackers, Navy SEAL, all that bull jive. They said, you scared of. They killed in 6 minutes. So this, now you know if the Greys doing that, you know what the juice that we get ready to come into, the cracker just might as well lay down and go to sleep. And I'm telling you right now, bear witness, this is no bull job, I'm telling you. You all got to be serious about this stuff. This stuff is real. You understand what I'm saying? This stuff is real. Like I said, if it would be something if I'm telling you, look, I'm starting an organization and I want you to follow me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to give me a certain amount of money. You know what I'm saying? If it's that way, then you can say, well, I don't know, that nigga, there's something fun about that nigga. But I'm telling you, really, like I told the people, I said, I could give a doggone whether you get with this or not. It ain't even about that. Y'all can go ahead and die all you want to. You understand what I'm saying? This is going to be done with or without you. So the stuff I'm coming with you correct and straight. I ain't want nobody to follow me. I'm not asking for no money. The whole 9 yards. I've never gotten over $300 in none of my lectures, and that was high. I'm charged this person. And I went down to Jacksonville, and one brother had to spring out, he had to come out of his own pocket. I said, man, you paying for all I thought was the organization paying for all this. It was just $300. I said, here, man, this come out. I said, here, take 100 back. I said, I can get along with 200. That's cool with me. Take 100 back. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm the least one that's getting money off this kind of stuff right now. Right now, I ain't got no car. You come to Atlanta, car breakdown, you got to take the train. You might see me on that motherfucker. That's what I ride. So I'm telling you straight up, I live in the worst area in Atlanta. So I'm coming to you true with everybody about making all this cash. All the niggas is getting paid. All of them getting paid. They're about making that money. I'm telling you straight up, I'm telling you, I went to college all my adult life, and I live in the worst area of you. I don't know if I even come up in that area. But the area, what happened is they moved all the people out of the area. Used to be Vine City. So the area got a bad reputation, so all the bad niggas don't even come up in there no more. So we safe. And ain't got nobody over there at all. So the reputation. But it's cool because they're building it up now, and we live in a nice little apartment. They just renovated for students, and they've got these houses in the whole now, y'all. So I ain't trying to run no game on you. This is straight up spiritual. Because they say, truth gonna come to the people, and the people, light shine in the darkness, and the people did not comprehend it. Could not comprehend it. And the people rejected the knowledge. So I'm telling you straight up, I'm not telling you to follow me. This ain't no darkness, this ain't no new religion. Everybody's saying this, everybody's saying they're the Messiah, and everybody got this new plan. I'm just straight up just telling you. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that's going on. Now, they said that the white man, based on all the trees in the whole 9 yards, they got to take him off the planet anyway. Because even if the white man did stay here and he decided to give you a little bit of money and keep you quiet, 40 years, all the oxygen is going to run off the planet because of everything they have done. So now they're saying that all this stuff has got to go. Because they only have about 40 years. So now we got to take the dog, take him off. So the ones that's going to stay to build the New Jerusalem, because they got different ways. Some of them going to another realm, some of them going under the ground, some of it. Eventually they're going to have people to build a New Jerusalem. They got to get him off the planet before he been killed everybody. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that's actually going on also too. Now, Hakeem Bey talked about this brother. He said that everything is parallel. He said we know there's a Nile River in America, but he thought it was the Mississippi River. Just so happened when I went to Jackson, one brother said, "Hey, you gonna rise in Jacksonville?" And I got down there, my kundalini started rising. I started burning up in the bed and all. And the spaceships, for those of you who haven't seen them, they're out there every night. The spaceships was down low, riding on the trust, man. I never saw it that low. It was in the trees. And that night, my kundalini started rising in the whole 9 yards. I spoke down there and everything went beautiful. When I came